Well, give it a minute, see if anybody pops in here. Kind of been bored because nobody went live this weekend or had a lobby. Yes, it's clear, as is this one. So by the title, you kind of know what I'm comparing. So I've got about 500 rounds through the 19X now. And I've got somewhere around 6,000 through my P10. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on these. For the Glock 19, it's not a bad gun. I'll put it like that. As far as Glocks go, I kind of like it. What I do like, no freaking finger grooves. The fact it came with metal night sights. That it's got a vastly improved trigger over the Gen 4s. The ambi slide release, How often am I going to need to shoot left-handed? Probably not very often. Same goes for the P10 though. The ambi slide release, it's there, it's a bonus. What I like about the P10, I think it's got better grip. It already has the stippling for your finger pad on both sides where the Glock 19 doesn't. I just think it's still got a vastly better trigger on it. The sights, they're the glow paint sights. They're okay. I just haven't gotten around to actually putting true night sights on it yet. Hey, somebody's watching. Can't see who you are, but just doing my little video on what I think of these. Oh, hey, Gunpowder. So as I was saying, I think the P10C has a vastly better trigger than a standard Glock trigger, even the 19X, which is a big improvement over the Gen 4s. I'm partial to CZ. You may even call me a CZ whore. But now, I'll show you almost, there is some springiness to the, right there, but let's see if I can get that so you can see where it is going to break. And then the reset, very short, very crisp. Now the 19X still has that sponginess to it, take up. Not as bad as the Gen 4, really. Pretty good improvement. And then the reset is pretty good as far as a stock Glock trigger goes. Definitely has a weird, I hate to say, but it has a weird impulse when you pull the trigger. It's not as smooth as it probably could be. I mean, compared to the P10, which, like, it's hard to describe it. You almost feel like the striker spring bounce or something. It's weird to describe it. You don't get that at all with the P10. I'm really looking forward to the new ones with the optics ready slides, because I will be buying one of those as soon as I see it. The first time I see it in the store. I'll probably end up buying the subcompact because I already have the compact, so I don't necessarily need that one right away. And the full size, I really just don't need a full size. So how's your Sunday going, Gunpowder? Between Sarge having to cancel his chat last night, there's been no lobbies, so been kind of bored actually. Oh, I love packing. Not. I mean, a lot of people complained about these P10s when they first came out that they're having issues. I've got like 6,000 rounds through this, and this is an early production model one. I haven't had a single issue with it. So I'm pretty impressed. And it's weird that I'd like the... It's weird that CZ... Granted, they did make one striker-fired pistol before. That was not very popular. I haven't got my hands on one to even know if it was halfway decent or not. But they really hit it out of the park, I think, with the P10. They incorporated enough features from other pistols. It's like it's got the PPQ trigger, Glock reliability. Honestly, I haven't had a single misfire, nothing with it, and I've fed it some pretty shitty ammo. I bought the cheapest, shittiest, toolless steel case, and it ate it, which it should, But I mean, I paid Oh, you lucky bastard. That's what I'm looking for. I need somewhere where I can just go out the door and shoot. These are actually pretty affordable. I think I paid $4.69 for it when I got mine, and as far as I know, mine was one of the first two that came in the state of New Hampshire. Oh yeah, you are a 45 girl, aren't you? I'm not the biggest 45 fan, though I did look at, one of my local shops had the new SAR K2. It's all metal frame, hammer fired, kind of a CZ clone. It does the rails like the CZ inside the frame rails. So they definitely stole some aspects from CZ's. And it had a pretty decent double action trigger, a little on the heavy side, which is kind of what you want with a double action. But I think they were selling for like $3.99. I'm like, damn, that's a pretty good price for that gun. Even though it is a made in Turkey gun, so it'd have to be a really good value for me to buy it because of the politics involved there. .44 mag. I don't even enjoy .44 mag. I do enjoy my .357 though. I do love .357 Magnum. To the point where I won't even bother buying .38 special ammo because I don't like the way it shoots out of my Security 6. I love the way the .357 shoots out of it though. I don't judge. That's for sure. Well, most people anyways. Certain people who have opinions I don't agree with, they may get judged a little bit. Certain people that just keep saying, read the book, it's all in the book. Hey, John Brown. People like that tend to piss me off. And it's not so much their message, it's their personality. It rubs me the wrong way. Certain people just irk me, and I'm sure everybody's met somebody that just rubbed them the wrong way from the get-go. But I did get a new edition. I haven't got to shoot it yet though. Let me grab it here. Now, my PC9 is not new. However, this is. It's one of the VG6 Epsilon. I haven't shot it yet. I haven't had a chance to bring this to the range because I was too busy shooting my AK and my AR, testing mags with them and stuff. But this is a badass little P10C. Got it a little dirty, did you? I mean, I paid $4.99 for this. And this is probably the only reason I saw this. I liked it. It felt real good. It takes Glock mags. This is probably the only reason I haven't actually gotten around to buying a CZ Scorpion yet. Because this thing is just fun. And the nice thing, unlike the Scorpion... Oh, I gotta lock the bolt back. That's how easy it is to take apart. And put back together. I definitely recommend these. I've got about 600 rounds through it now, and the thing runs great. I'm going to be interested to see how this brake performs on it. I picked this up at a open house that they had them on sale for like 40 bucks, and they're like normally 70 or 80 bucks for these brakes. Because my one issue with this is the sights. The iron sights, you really have to actually get your head down low and bend over to see it. As you can see, I just threw a red dot on it. Which this is the Vortex Crossfire red dot. Paid 150 bucks for the red dot. Lifetime warranty. It breaks, call them up. They'll either fix it or send you a new one. Okay, I didn't turn that off, and the battery's dead. That's weird. Or am I just not seeing it? No, battery died. Huh. Oh well, I have to pick up another battery. Or it's loose in the case, which for some reason I've heard of that happening with these. That the battery and where it goes in, it's got a little bit of a wiggle to it, so it can lose contact. But like I said, lifetime warranty on the damn thing. Not a bad price for my first optic. And this, oh yes, the only thing I'm going to change on this next is the muzzle brake. I hate this freaking birdcage muzzle brake. Does shit. Doesn't do shit for an AK. So I changed out to the Magpul furniture. Got the Zukov side folding stock, which folds the right direction if I want to run an optic on it, because I got my plate here to mount a optic mount. This stock is much more ergonomic and better than a regular AK stock. It fits into the shoulder much tighter. So I shot probably 300 rounds through this the other day, and my shoulder wasn't killing me afterwards. Whereas if I'd shot the 300 rounds with the stock that came on it, my shoulder would have been bruised. Because it was a concave rear, and that thing just dug into me like a bastard. Now this is my first AK I bought. It's a Zastava NPAP. It's actually a very, very low serial number one. I don't know if you can see that. How well that'll show up. But it's a 3-digit serial number NPAP. So it's old. I bought it used, unfired. Guy had it sitting in his safe for about 8-9 years. What I like about the Yugo guns, you got a slightly longer foregrip, more area to grab, and the stock is longer and it has this extra added comb to it. So it's much better to get a cheek weld on. The drawback to that is if you don't change your muzzle brake, it will give you cheek slap. And it's got extremely tight safety. I actually took the grip off of this and threw it on my DDI AK, so I gotta pick up another grip. Because the Yugo grip with the finger grooves, don't like it at all. But this muzzle brake, on the other hand, I gotta figure out if this will fit on my other one. Because this brake works awesome. This thing does a real great job of taming the AK round. And it makes for nice, pretty flashes. It does lend itself to having some fireball effect. And makes it slightly louder. Which is fun, because I shoot mostly indoor range. So it pisses off everybody around me. But I've got about 1,000 rounds through this gun. And I haven't had any of the issues like people have told you the horror stories about NPAPs. I do find the trigger pins are a little undersized. So they do tend to walk on you, and it will add a little bit of grittiness to the trigger. But overall, I can't complain for what I paid for this. I knew what it was. I wasn't looking to, put thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through it and just generally beat the piss out of it because it was my first AK. I wanted something that was affordable to get me into the system. That, it looks the part of looking like an AK. I probably won't get rid of this, even though I have a better one now. This would probably be like a stash gun somewhere or something. Who knows? Still waiting on to get my SKS fixed because I kind of had a little issue with the safety. This SKS safety would function, but it had almost no resistance to it, so I ordered a new spring for the safety. I just gotta find somebody to put it in because apparently when they drove those pins into the trigger group on the SKSs, they did it hot. So they are freaking in there tight, and I'm not even going to attempt to punch those babies out. I know better. I learned my lesson after I tried changing the sights on my CZ, which were press-in sights. You want to change the sights on your CZ? Pay somebody else to do it. That's gonna sight pusher. That's my recommendation. I mean, the Glock sights on my Gen 4, the polymer ones came so loose, I could actually just press them side to side and they would slide. That was one of the issues I hated on that gun, is the sights moved because they were polymer. This one I don't mind so much. I've carried it a little bit. I think the P10 still carries better. Weight wise, they feel pretty much the same to me. But grip wise, this one feels much fatter of a grip. This feels much more rounded and ergonomic. You can never have enough guns. That's the way I look at it. Actually going to go to the gun store in a little bit. Because they've got, I really want it, but at the same time, it's not a 357 Magnum. They've got a used stainless steel model 64-1. So it's got the pinned hammer, pre-Hillary hole. Yes, I get the irony of the Hillary hole. But it's in pretty decent shape. It's got some scratches on it and shit, but I only want like 4 1/4 for it, which is really not bad for an old Smith & Wesson revolver, because those are the ones people collect. Those are the ones people want. I'm just torn on it because it's it's got the press-in barrel, so it doesn't have the pinned barrel, which would add to the collectability of it a little bit. And it's a 38 special only, which, as I said earlier, I'm not the fan of the way the 38 special shoots. When I shoot it, when I think of a revolver, I want to feel the recoil on it, you know? I know it sounds silly. Ah, we're up to 3 viewers now. Who else just popped in? Oh no, then they ran away. Oh well, they're lost. I still shoot better with the P10. I shoot better with my P01 than even the P10. Those things are a laser show. I was busting on Ellis was it Friday, I think, where he said he wanted to get a PPQ. I told him, no, you want to get a CZP01. Trust me on this. You won't be disappointed. And he won't. And he wouldn't be. I don't know how CZ did it, but the P01 just magically feels good to just about everyone I've ever heard that's held one or shot one. Now I've got a green P01 with the alloy frame, which is my typical winter carry gun. And I've got a steel frame P01, which is an oddball, to say the least. CZ is really good at putting out small runs of weird combination guns, is the easiest way to describe it. Because it's a CZ P01 marked gun. Steel frame with a manual safety. I don't really like manual safeties, honestly. I think it adds an extra step. Hey, feet. I think a manual safety adds an extra step that you really don't need on a carry gun, especially if it's a double action hammer fired gun. Well, I would definitely recommend this, John, to just about anybody. Because this trigger is easily, unless you're a super trigger snob, then you probably can't tell the difference between this trigger and the PPQ trigger. It's that good. And supposedly, I haven't played with any of the new ones yet, but supposedly they refined this trigger a little bit more, even, because this is an early production gun. Now, I've been buying a few of these lately, because these are hard to find. The 20 round PMags for the AK. Believe it or not, these are actually pretty freaking hard to find in my area. There's only one shop I found locally that has them. And a couple of the other shops, they say we can't even get them. So, I guess he bought a case or two of these at the right time when they were available. And he's slowly been putting them out little by little. But these are great mags. I kind of like the way they look with the shorter mag versus, say, a 30 rounder. John Brown. Yeah, it sucks you're stuck in California. Don't feel bad. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I'd wanted out of Massachusetts for years, so I know your feeling. Because Massachusetts is as bad, if not worse, restrictions-wise, as California. It's bad. It's why I get the frig out when I had an opportunity to do it. Moved up to the land of freedom. I'm still close enough where if I have to go back to Mass, it's less than an hour drive. Not that I really want to go back to Mass, but family is family, and I still have family down there. So I'll tell you, if you want to change the back strap on this, be careful. I actually broke the pin. So only about half the pin holds this back strap on. Hey, Stealth Hunter. Yes, it's finally actually sunny out here in New England. It's finally stopped raining after a week. Because that shit was getting bad and depressing. I should probably be out there, cleaning up my lawn and getting all the leaves up, but I'm just going to run them over with the freaking lawnmower. I'm a lazy prick when it comes to yard work. The only thing I wish they would do on the P10 is just round this back edge off just a bit more, because the way it sits into my grip, it kind of, I'll have to rotate it here. After a couple hundred rounds, it really wears right on that freaking knuckle. I'm in between Manchester and Concord, or as I call it, Manch Vegas. Ooh, we're up to 6 viewers. Oh, you're really going to be saying that come February, gunpowder. So what is everybody else doing? I know gunpowder's packing. Yeah, I could do that. But there is a pin right in there that I don't really want to mess with. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Right there, there's a pin. So I don't want to mess with that too much. I mean, it only really gets annoying after you shoot a couple hundred rounds. So in a self-defense situation, you're not even going to notice it. Even after 100 rounds, you're probably not going to notice it. Taking the kids out to try and wear them out. Walk some of that energy out of them. Fortunately, you know, up here, the ammo prices aren't too bad, depending on where you go. Sometimes I get better prices from my local shops than I can get at Walmart on ammo. Most of the time. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm on call right now. So if my phone starts ringing, I actually have to go to work. Because that means somebody's heat is not working. But who knows if it's actually going to get a call or not. Yep. Gotta wear those kids out so you can put them down easy. My parents used to just give me a can of Coke. I'd be psycho for about an hour and then I'd crash. Unfortunately, that didn't work too well for my older brother because they'd give him a can of Coke and he would not crash. He would be insane for the rest of the day. Now, do I like the color on this? Not particularly. But it had everything I wanted on it. Because around me, when the G45s first came out, none of them had night sights. And they were the early ones that had that stupid cutout like the Gen 5 frame on the magwell. And I would end up pinching myself trying to insert a mag with that. That's why I like this frame actually better. I mean, this thing's eating well, it's a Glock. It should eat everything you can find for it. From the shittiest, dirtiest, cheapest ammo up to self-defense ammo. I mean, this and the G45 are essentially the same. The bottom of the frame here is a little different. It's got more serrations on the front of the slide, but that's about the main differences right there. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's not bad. Not a bad trigger as far as Glocks go. It's a vast improvement, I think, over the Gen 4s. Rust on the slide. I'm worried about that finish. That's something to be seen. That's for sure. I am not a fan of this PVD finish that they used. One of my older brothers is actually a chemical engineer, and I asked him about it. He said, as far as a finish on a gun, that PVD finish is not very good. Yeah, yeah, just keep it oiled up. Keep it from rusting again. Now, after watching, Mac's video where he was testing the M17, the SIG gun that also has a PVD finish, I can tell you Glock's PVD finish is definitely better than the SIG's. I don't know what SIG is doing with that PVD finish, but it sucks. Mac, I don't know, he maybe put 100 rounds to it, and you could already see on the slide rails it was wearing off after like 100 rounds, and it shouldn't do that. I know they've had issues at SIG with that PVD finish that they're using on the Legions, so I'm assuming it's basically the same finish, just a different color. One of the guys at my local shop has 3 of the SIG Legions, and he's had to send them all back for rust. One of them, he had his first Legion he got it literally brand new from SIG, because we're close enough to actually drive to SIG and buy directly from SIG themselves, because they have their own gun store at the SIG Academy. And he brought it home, put it in his safe, and knowing him the way I know him, I'm sure he's either got goldenrod or some kind of other moisture absorbing devices in there. So it's not a humidity thing, because he's got some collectible guns. So I'm sure it's only redeeming. Yeah, that's true, Fee. But yeah, he had it for 2 weeks in his safe, and it was just from sitting there rusting. He was pissed. And since then, he's acquired 2 more Legions, and all of them have had rust issues with that SIG PVD finish. I don't know what they're doing over at SIG, but their quality control is shit. Which is why I will not buy a new SIG. I think they're also about 20% overpriced compared to other comparable guns on the market. But you're paying for the name just like you are for HK. Because HKs aren't significantly better than any of their competitors. At that point, you're just paying for the name because it's HK. And they have shitty customer service, from what everyone has said. And aftermarket support. Would I like an HK? Sure. I wouldn't bother with a VP9. I would probably get the P30, which I found 2 of them locally, but they want freaking practically brand new price for them for a used gun. And it's like, nah. Even if it is an HK, my local shop has yeah. I'm sure if you've got a big enough dog, they can chew on this and do some damage. Whereas if they try and chew on a metal gun, chances are they're going to be missing a few teeth afterwards. And the metal gun might be scratched up, but it's still going to be intact. Whereas this, yeah, they were asking over $500 for used. They were like $560, $570 used. One was a long slide with the LEM trigger in it, and the other one was just a regular P30. But yeah, but I think the MSRP when the P30s first came out were like right around $1,000. They were expensive when they first came out. But that's about the only well, no. Everybody wants an MP5, let's face it. But I'm not paying the new HKs that they're importing. The MP5s are like 1,800 to 2 grand. And it's not even, you know, you can't even throw, as far as I know, to get them to be able to be imported, they had to make them so like the folding stocks and stuff won't work on the new ones. The factory HK stocks get the USP there, line there better, and have a Beretta type finish on it. Yeah, but then I'm getting into block territory, you know? The USPs are not very ergonomic. It feels like you're holding a 2x4, which is, you know, kind of what a Glock feels like, to be honest. Because my local shop's blowing out a couple, the last 3 or 4 USPs they got, but they don't have a compact, so they're all the full-size model. But they get them for good prices, but no layaway on them because they want to move them. I think they're right around $560, $570 for brand new USPs, which those were pretty pricey back in the day. Still are pricey if you look around. I don't know, the pricing is weird up here in New Hampshire. Some things you can get much cheaper. Some things compared to other areas, maybe it's the availability, the popularity in that particular area. I don't know. Yeah, the P2000, I've looked at them. Not many around locally, believe it or not. And if there are, people aren't selling them. It's like the Zenith MP5 clones. A couple years ago, they were pretty prevalent in the area. Now, they've all but dried up. I don't know if people, the gun shops themselves, just aren't ordering them, or they're having issues getting them because everybody else wants them, because now they're an officially licensed clone from HK, so they've got all the back-end HK support now. Though I did see, and I really, really want to order one, Checkpoint USA is selling the VZ61 Scorpions, the original Scorpions, again. Do I... Ah, damn, lost it. Lost the comment. Let's see if I can get the comment up here. I try and buy local stuff. Granted, I bought this online. I actually did the 4-pay program from Sportsman's Guide. First payment was $158, something like that. And then 3 more payments of right around $130 and change. And then it's paid off. It was the first time, so I figured, you know what? I've ordered ammo from Sportsman's Guide. Let's try buying a gun. They shipped it right away. I had it within a week. I'm very happy with the program. I buy almost all my guns using layaway. Unless I find one at, you know, an exceptionally good deal and they won't do layaway on it, or if I find it for a really cheap price. that I'll just buy it straight up. Sportsman's Outdoor Superstore. I think that's probably the same as Sportsman's Guide. I could be wrong on that. We don't have any of the Academy sports stores up here in the Northeast that I'm aware of. But some of the other guys online seem to rave about Academy for having deals. No, I just prefer to buy locally because I like to finger bang my guns first before I decide to buy it. Because I may look at it and think, yeah, it's a really cool looking gun, and get it in my hand, and I may hate it. And at that point, you've already bought it. So now you're going to take a loss versus I buy it locally, I go in the store, I can play with it, see how it feels to me, see how it has the trigger, or, you know. So I just prefer to buy local if I can find it local. Which these are starting to dry up a little bit because Glock's stopped producing them a while ago. I had one of my local shops look, and he said he found about 3,000 of these still in distributor stock. Different online store. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. But I can't complain. This seems like a pretty well built gun. I like the no finger grooves because that was my problem with Glocks. I hated the finger grooves. Yeah, exactly, Fee. Because what happens when, say, all the local stores go out of business because the big box stores put them out of business, and then you get an asshole politician that decides, well, we're not going to let people order guns online anymore. Then everybody's screwed. Because there will be very, very few, small mom and pop privately owned gun shops at that point. Took a chunk out of my thumb earlier. Oops. Anyway, I haven't shot in a while. Yeah, pricing at local shops is hit or miss. Mostly in my area, I find local shops are within $10 to $20 of the online pricing you'll see for stuff. Typically, I can buy ammo locally cheaper than I can buy online because I have, some odd Tommy gun calibers besides, my AKs. I did get a really good deal on some 9 Makarov ammo from Sportsman's Guide. So I bought it there. Had it shipped to my house. Because that one was a little hard to find, but now I found a local shop down in Merrimack, New Hampshire. And he's got any kind of weird, odd caliber you could possibly think of. He's probably got a box of it. Because I was perusing Facebook the other day, and I saw a post from Checkpoint, which Checkpoint is the importer for like the VZ58s, the not an AK that looks a lot like an AK, and they're importing again the VZ61 Scorpions, the originals, and I really want one of those. I'd seen one a couple years ago at a local shop, and they wanted $800 for it. Which I was not going to pay $800 for that gun. And it was a checkmate. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely stealth. Because all my local indoor shooting ranges I go to, with the exception of one, won't let you shoot steel case. So if you look, that's steel case, but that's not. This is actually is this PPU or SMB? Yeah, so this is actually PPU ammo. Full metal jacket. PPU is great ammo. It's quite a bit more expensive than buying the steel case, but they'll let me shoot it. So I usually just go pick up a few boxes at a time, which I actually did yesterday. I cleaned them out of all their remaining S&B AK ammo. I mean, $10 a box, so you pay roughly, $3 to $4 more for a box of 20 over the steel cased ammo in my area. I'm sure I could get a better deal if I looked around online and bought it in bulk. But I like to support the local shops. Yeah. Yeah. There's plenty of it. There's PPU, there's the S&B, there's the M67, which is Yugoslavian, which is really hot ammo. Yeah, I mean, with some of my ammo, definitely I would buy online. Like, I will not buy 357 locally because it's way too expensive to buy this stuff locally. I mean, I found a few good deals where that's actually cheaper than I could buy it online for the 9 Makarov. Yes, they do actually make critical defense 9mm Makarov ammo. I did actually see a CZ82 yesterday that I was thinking about, and it's pretty decent price. They had it used in fairly decent condition for $350. Yeah. If you live in a city, it kind of sucks because I'm sure they restrict the shit out of it, especially like Philadelphia, Boston, New York. Well, everybody knows they restrict the shit out of everything in New York City. But with the amount of rounds I have through this thing, I'm very impressed. They had a box of 10mm for $50 at the shop. I would have started laughing in their face, honestly, Fee. I'm like, you do know I can buy that same box of ammo online for $20? Oh wait, you're in California. Yeah, that would have been my response, Fee. Hey, look at that. It's John Z. You mentioned New York City and look who shows up. Oh, not much, John. I was just figured I'd go live because I'm running out of space on my phone. I gotta go get a new phone this afternoon, actually. And I figured I'd do a compare and contrast between my 19X and my P10. Oh, doesn't New York City restrict the shit out of restricting the shit out of gun shops and, well, your rights? Because I'm sure it's probably pretty hard to find a gun shop in New York City. Probably have to go out of the city to actually find a decent one where the prices aren't going to rape you. Because I'm sure New York City makes it. Yeah, regulations up the butt. Because I'm sure, you know, it's not cheap to operate any kind of commercial entity in New York City. With the state, local, and federal taxes involved there. Yeah, rapes you with fees. And they don't even give you a reach around either, I bet, John. Yeah, you can see my speakers over there. I haven't even bothered hooking them up. I haven't used them in years. Probably should just sell them on eBay. Yeah, parts are out there. There's Numeric, Liberty Tree Collectors. There's a few sites that are specific for like milsurps. I mean, CZ is still actually making brand new magazines for the CZ82s. They're still available directly from CZ, the mags at least. They reach around but reverse, so they finger. Oh, you know, John. Yeah. Yeah, New York screws you coming and going. That's why you want out of there, isn't it? I don't blame you. Massachusetts is not any better. And that's what pisses off the New York politicians. Because if you look at the last, 5 years, New York State has been losing a ton of population. Because people are getting sick and tired. Same with California. People are getting sick and tired of the lunatic politics and the taxes. They're fleeing to other states. And you know what's going to happen? When those states lose enough population, they're going to lose congressional seats. And that's what the politicians were all afraid of in those states. Because the less population they have, the less political power they have. And the free states that gain the population gain more seats. I mean, I'm sure there's a certain percentage of people that flee California, New York, Massachusetts, the unfriendly states that try and make the state they move to as bad as the old state they came from. And they don't probably even realize it. I was not one of those people. When I moved out of Mass, for very specific reasons on taxes. Because New Hampshire is within probably the top 5 best states for your gun rights. 2 years ago, we got constitutional carry, so you don't need a license to carry anymore. They still offer it. It's like 14 bucks. Good for 5 years. And as long as you have no criminal history, it's a shall issue state. They can't deny it to you. Because you'd be like, well, fuck you then. We've got constitutional carry anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's coming from New Jersey, John. Because I've driven past the Meadowlands and, well, it's kind of stinky around that area. Especially northern New Jersey. Northern New Jersey is not a nice area. I've spent time in Jersey. I spent about a week there working. And, yeah. If I'm going through, I'm literally going through and not stopping. I will get gas in Connecticut, and I will not stop until I go through New York, all the way through frickin' New Jersey. And the smelly cats, yeah. The only nice area I ever saw of Jersey when I worked down there for the week I was down there, it was northwest New Jersey. And there was some nice areas out there. Everybody was driving around in Beamers, Mercedes-Benz, Bentleys. You name the expensive car, I probably saw it. It was all, you know, the McMansions, and it was probably all where the mobsters live, I would guess. Because it was very clean. A lot of Italian-looking people out there driving high-end, expensive cars in big houses. Could be a lot of executives that work in New York also. Because, I mean, I know Letterman has a house over in Connecticut. And he would literally commute into New York City every day. Oh no, it's when you see shitty houses and expensive cars, John. That's where you know it's a welfare area. When you see $1 million houses and people driving expensive cars, that's not a welfare area. That's more than likely where all the Guidos from the mob live. You know, the Sopranos. Which is funny because my buddy's dad, if you ever met my buddy's dad, you'd swear to God you were talking to Tony Soprano. City putting them in the nice areas too, it's screwed up. Well, this was out around one of the colleges, one of the big name, big time colleges that's out in northwest Jersey. Very ritzy area. And I'm pretty sure they would not let them put shitty houses into that area. I think the towns would fight them on that. But, oh, I've been to the shitty areas. Trust me, John. I've been to Jersey City. I've been to that whole seacoast area of northern Jersey. I've walked down the street and let's just say I felt like an Oreo cookie because I was the only cream I saw. So, yeah. Kind of uncomfortable. But I was there for work, did my job, got the fuck out of there. John Z needs a rescue. I saw the pretty good meme. Somebody took a SIG P320 and they Cerakoted the whole thing. Not blazing, then you look like everybody else. They took the whole thing, they Cerakoted the gun gray and put red letters, warning, do not drop, and all this other writing on it, you know, making the fact that if you drop the 320 wrong, it could go off. Danger, handle with care, all that kind of shit. I sent a picture of it over to Sean Ponnery. I'm like, hey, maybe we should send this to Night Strike. Just to fuck with him. Because he's got a 320. Yeah, it's actually sunny out here. It has been raining up here for about a week now. Finally stopped yesterday. I think I might even take the motorcycle out for a ride. Because there's probably not going to be many more days where I'm going to be able to. How many bodies do you get for the firing system on the 320? Oh, that's a lot of bodies. It's funny how it seems like everybody that seems to be shooting themselves, though, are cops. You would think that they would be more well-trained not to drop their freaking gun than your average concealed carrier. Apparently not. Ooh, I'm up to 5 viewers now. Oh, gun bodies, not human bodies. See, there is a distinction there. Yeah, I don't know how many. I think you can buy as many because the frames for the 320s are dirt cheap. Dropping a gun is firearms abuse, and that is throat punching is punishment. Yeah, I know it's a modular system, John. But I mean, they even painted on the slide and shit. Handle with caution, do not drop and shit in red lettering. And yes, I know they have the fix out for the trigger. So it supposedly stops it from going off if you drop it at that exact angle. But I wouldn't trust it. Not with SIG's as of late reputation, let's put it like that. Because they like to beta test their guns on consumers before they actually fix them and actually make them work right. Just like they did on the 365. I mean, Mac must have, Tim over there at Military Arms Channel must have killed their fucking sales when he showed two separate guns that both fucked up in different ways. That must have just killed them. I mean, I hear a lot of things because I'm in New Hampshire that here we have a 380, a 9, and a 45 all in the same drop. That is cool as shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's the cool thing about the 320 is it's a modular system, so you can do different frame size. You can do caliber conversions that are reasonably easy. Basically, it's just a barrel swap and a spring swap. That's kind of why I'm willing to like not rag on them too much about the 320, but I will rag on them to hell on the 365 because that gun was not ready to be released, and it's plainly obvious it wasn't. And I think it's hilarious that they underbid the shit out of Glock and got the military contract, and Glock's all pissed off about it. Well, maybe you shouldn't have bid $100 million more than SIG. Oh, John. Oh, just Google P365 problems, and I'm sure a couple of Max videos will come up. A few of the other bigger channels have had issues with them. They were snapping firing pins. Mac actually snapped the trigger spring or the reset bar, whatever. No, those ones I think are drop safe. Those I think are drop safe, John. But like they have major striker drag where they were breaking the firing pin tip off. Let me grab a round here. I'll just use one of my AK rounds for reference. So instead of just hitting the primer and you just having that perfectly little primer hit, it would drag it all the way to the freaking side of the case. Oh yeah, yeah, and it's because Cohen, that dude has done bad things to SIG as a company. He fucked up Kimber, he fucked up Remington, now he's at SIG. But from what I've been told, SIG Europe got pissed off with all the issues that they've been having. So they actually, from what I've been told, Cohen has, like, he's still there, but has no authority to fucking do anything. Because they brought, SIG Europe brought in a ringer, some Russian guy from Europe, to quote unquote fix things at SIG USA. So we'll see how that goes, but right now I wouldn't touch any new SIG. Maybe a 320 if it has the new trigger and fix so it doesn't go off. Because I do like the idea of that modular, being able to change out grip frames so you can go from a full-size frame to a subcompact frame and only have to have one gun. Because the frames are like 40 or 50 bucks. So the grip frames, the modules are cheap. So you went out today, it looks nice on the other side. Yeah, it's cold though. It's a little chilly up here right now. But I am going to go out shortly. Go pay the local gun shop a visit before I go grocery shopping. And hopefully nobody calls saying that they're out of heat. It's been sunny here, but not quite warm, yeah. Yeah, let me see how much battery life I have. Probably not much. Because this iPhone, I gotta go up and get a new phone today. I have my upgrade, so, but my screen is all cracked to hell. On this, the front screen is all cracked to hell, and the only reason it's probably still working is I have one of the plastic protectors over it. Otherwise, I'm sure the glass at this point would just fall out in chunks. But it still works. That's why I stay with iPhones. Because once you set them up, get them running right, forget it. John. Yeah. Yeah. I just see buttload guns and you'll take care of them when you get back. Now, see, I usually stop in once or twice a week to my local shop. The closest one anyways. Stop in, buy a box or two of ammo, shoot the shit for like an hour. Hang out a little bit, see if they've got anything that interests me, because, you know, inventory changes all the time. So I may go in there one day and they may have something out back that I might be interested in that they haven't put out yet. Like right now they've got a Norinco SKS. It's a commercial model one, so it's not a Type 56 like the one I got. For, I think they're asking $4.25, but I'm staying away from that one because the wood stock on it's got a massive crack in the side of the stock. And it's like, you want 425? No. No, not with one with a massive crack inside the stock. I don't think so. But they know what it is. It's a Norinco. People are going to pay a premium for Norinco SKS over a Yugo, or take your pick of any ex-manufacturer that made SKSs. I mean, right now they got a Daewoo K2 on the wall. Which, if you're not familiar with those, it's basically the South Korean version of the M16. I'm not into the massive crack, no. No. No, I've actually been looking on eBay and looking around to find a Chinese SKS wood stock that's in good shape for a reasonable price, and it's not out there. You're gonna pay $100 for a wood stock for my SKS. Because the Chinese wood stocks are slightly different than, say, like a Yugo wood stock. A Chinese would probably fit in the Yugo stock, but if you would actually look at them, the Chinese ones are physically smaller and lighter. They also have the what is referred to as the jungle stocks, which are those fiberglass red stocks. Oh yeah, some people have too much money. I'm always looking for the deal. That's why I haven't bought one. I've had my SKS that I bought that somebody kind of bubbled. I haven't really done much with it because I've been keeping my eyes open for a decent wood stock for it. Because I hate bubbled guns. When it comes to my Milsurp guns, I like the original configurations on them. Even if they're not like great to shoot. I like the wood and metal guns. I'm kind of fuddy like that when it comes to those Milsurps. Don't get me wrong, I love my AKs, my AR, my handguns. But when it comes to my Milsurps, I like them in original condition. You buy Milsurp at a decent price, and if you can get a little bit of a deal on it, you'll never lose money. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. I'll give you an example. My M57 Mauser. I paid $4.25 for this like 3 years ago. You will go on Gunbroker now and look up M57, M48 rather. Sorry, brain fart. You go look up one of these on Gunbroker, they're like $700, $800 now. And honestly, look at the grain pattern on the wood. That is some beautiful grain pattern. I mean, I like them. I like it just the way it is, you know. I mean, the sights could be better, but, you know, it is what it is when it comes to those. It's an old... Yeah, I don't think so, John. Hey, Vash. I mean, she's not as smooth as a actual German Mauser, bolt operation wise, but she looks the part, now doesn't she? I mean, there's no real super collector's value in these because They're post-World War II guns. They weren't made by the Germans. They were made on German equipment that they got after World War II. And they're kind of in between a short ring Mauser and like a K98K. But you know what? It shoots 8mm. It's accurate. It's a great shooting gun. Would I really want a K98? Hell yeah. But I'm not paying $1,000 for a K98K. For a shooter grade, which is what those are going for now. So I found this for $4 1/4. I could turn around and double my money on it probably right now, after like 3 years. I'll give you an even better example. Yes. Swiss K31. I paid $450 for this gun. And this is an early production gun. As far as I can tell, it's a 1936 production. Look at that. I'll do it with my left hand. No resistance to there, and then it's a 2-stage trigger. 1936 production with a 2-stage trigger. That's like, you show me another milsurp that has a 2-stage trigger that's from that time period. There isn't one out there, I don't think. I like these, but same thing. I paid $450 for this. I could double my money on it right now. Am I going to? No. Because I like it. It's a great, great gun. This thing is a bruiser, though. This 7.5 Swiss is a bruiser. Oh yeah. Just got the low power warning on my phone. And now I actually got a good deal on these. GP11 ammo for it. I got 10 rounds for $7, which is not a bad price for GP11, because this is literally match grade ammo. They never shot corrosive ammo out of these guns. I think I was watching an old Iraq veteran video, and they said to recreate this gun with this quality, it'd cost like more than $3 grand to build you a brand new K31 with the workmanship they put into these things. Now, just from comparison, that's GP11. This is 7.6239. 7.6239 is just a little shorter than just the case on this thing. It's a big, powerful round. The equivalent would be like 8mm, 30-06. Yeah, it's funny when the 7.6239 looks small. But I won't shoot any of this because the GP11 is hard to find. And it's getting pricey. I found this at my local gun show. He had this marked for, what, $7 for 10 rounds. I saw that, recognized what it was, bought it. There was another guy there that had probably 50 rounds of it, but he wanted $20 for 10 rounds. And I was not willing to pay that for that much. For that price for the ammo. I was like, nah, I found a little bit of it. Sure, if I looked around online, I could find it for a reasonable price. Let's see some puppies now. Oh, I don't have any puppies. I'm not usually around enough to take care of a puppy. I just think I like odd guns. So this is an odd gun because the straight pull action. Which there are a couple manufacturers out there that still make straight pull hunting rifles. Oh, the gun shows in my area suck. The gun shows in my area absolutely up here in New England suck. They're small. Usually it's the same vendors at every gun show with the same guns that they didn't sell at the last one that are priced 20% over retail price you could buy in their store. And I know they got to get, they got to make money. Yeah, pretty much. It's a bunch of older guys, usually, selling the same junk. The old helmets or medals or buttons, pins. It's pretty much a flea market. Yeah, John Brown, I actually bought that from Shooters. And they got another one in about 6 months ago. I got that about a year and a half ago now. And they just got one. They had one in, got one in, and they wanted twice. They wanted $800 for it. And it was in no better shape than that one right there. The Swiss guns do bring a premium because they weren't made in large numbers. I hate to say it, because I really, really want one. I gotta get my hands on a Finnish M39 Mosin. Because if you haven't held one of those, with that Finnish stock that they put on it, it completely changes the way a Mosin feels to you. It feels more like an actual Mauser than a Mosin. It's unreal just putting a different stock on it, how much of a difference that makes. Yeah, the Concord gun shows, which is where I found that ammo, suck. John. Now, I didn't go to the one down in Manchester they had a few weeks ago. But I thought it was funny. You probably heard about it, John Brown. That some guy found a package of 50 rounds of 7.62 25 Tokarev. And oh my God, he found them in a parking lot in Manchester. He found a stash of ammo, which probably fell out of somebody's pocket coming from that gun show, and they just didn't know they lost him. It's like, oh my God, 50 rounds, that's an arsenal. That's a major weapons cache. We can laugh because we know what 50 rounds is. 50 rounds is about 5 minutes worth of fun. But I actually do have a Tokarev. Oh yeah, there's a whole article written about it that made the newspaper and shit up here. Because that must have been the only thing. It's like I was working out in Vermont one day. And the big story out in Vermont was that there was a moose on 89 North. And there was a state trooper trying to corral it off the fucking highway. You know what I mean? 5-minute rounds like a really, really bad glory hole spot. That's just nasty, John. No, I mean, there's not much that goes on up here in New England, really. I mean, that made, the local news up there. That was the big thing in Vermont when I was up there working one day, was that there was a moose on the highway. 50 rounds, typo. Sure, it was a typo. I mean, 200 rounds. I've got a stockpile. Actually, I've got, well, a lot more than 200 rounds. Let's just leave it at that. But, well, I've been running on here for what? Fuck, 90 minutes. Oh, did I just say that? Yes, I did. Yeah, arsenal. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind having an arsenal, though. I do want an arsenal AK. But with the prices those are going for right now, it's like you spend, you know, $1,000 on an arsenal, or do you spend the extra $400 or $500 and get yourself, you know, Jim Fuller goodness and get a rifle dynamics? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the arsenal, but if you want the Cadillac, spend the extra money and get the Cadillac AK, you know, that you know is basically going to last you the rest of your life, as long as you take care of it. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up and get actually freaking motivated and go check out what my gun shop has locally. Plus, my phone's about to die. But if anybody's doing a chat, I'm sure I'll see you later on there. If Matt ever decides to do his chat. Which is kind of annoying me now that he's doing it usually when I want to go grocery shopping. Oh yeah, David. All my local gun shops are open 7 days a week. They have reduced hours on, you know, Saturday and Sunday usually. But they're open. I wonder if the big one here in the state that I know of is Shooter's Outpost. He's got a lot of NFA items, shall we say. He just put an addition onto his building that literally doubled the size of it, of the building. And a large portion of that is just going to be to house his collection for his museum. So I wonder if he's started moving his stuff in there yet. Apparently he's got a Willys Jeep he's going to put in the entranceway. Like an actual Willys World War II Jeep, all outfitted. I think he's only waiting because he's having a mount made for a Ma-Deuce to put on it. Because he wants an actual Willys to look just like it did during World War II. So hopefully I'll be able to get some pictures or video in there once he gets everything all set up in his museum. And won't have a problem with people filming in there. Hopefully. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got quite the collection from what I've been told. He's probably one of the biggest machine gun guys on the East Coast, I would bet. He's probably the top 5 on the East Coast. So I'll see you all later. My phone's probably about ready to die. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you later.